Cool. We're live again.
Again.
That is nice. Welcome to another episode of our podcast.
Yeah.
This is a Friday morning live show sent directly from Standout Coffee headquarters in Stockholm.
And we've even put it in the calendar, so it is a reoccurring event here.
Yes, which is nice. It's a good way for us to try some coffee and summarize the week, maybe what's ahead of us next week, and talk about some releases and some fresh stuff that just came in. Before we start, we should go ahead a little bit and say that next week we are roasting and sending out our monthly competition subscription. And we're gonna get back to the coffee. We're gonna try it here in a while. I roasted it a few days ago, and but everyone still have time to sign up. We have an amazing deal where you can get 50% of your first month, and you find everything online and in the descriptions if you look at this on YouTube. And I'm super excited for this coffee. Actually, it's you brewed it.
Yes. So should I talk about the coffees?
Do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna join in on the stream and see if everything works.
If everything works. So we are trying two different coffees today, and as you can see, it's sort of a part of our QC routine also. So not that I do this every brew, but in this type of circumstance, absolutely, we are also measuring the TDS just to see what we're tasting. And so Oscar mentioned, you mentioned, what's been happening this week, and this week has been filled with coffees coming in. Next time we'll have to do maybe more live shots from the roastery, but there's lots of coffee here now. But so here in the first carafe is our new washed pea berry from Colombia. Really exciting, and also the first coffee that we are acquiring together in partnership with Cata Export from Colombia with Pierre there. Really exciting project. And then the second cup that we're trying, which we also got in not too many days ago, is this month's competition coffee, the Honduras geisha, the anaerobic fermented and then washed processed geisha by Moises Herrera, which we tried last week also, but now it's a little bit more tweaked. And one of the reasons why I'm measuring the TDS is when I brewed these coffees now, I brewed them the exact same way. I didn't change the dial on the grinder, even though one is a pea berry and the other one is a geisha. And I just want to see, what are we getting before we taste?
That's great. And I'm so looking forward to release the pea berry on our lineup.
Yes.
It's a super interesting coffee. It tastes amazing.
And that's in the specialty category.
Yes.
So it'll come in our 250 gram bags.
And with the new bag design, with a coffee as a pea berry, to have customers and wholesale clients or private consumers to see the size of these beans, how they look, because they look absolutely gorgeous. They are literally round and
small and
round. And I did a short comparison between our new Ethiopian coffee that also has a unique shape because it's super small, together with the Pacamara XO that we still have in our competition lineup, and it's like 4 times the size. And with the see-through bags and of course the box when it's in there, the design really shines, I think. And the level of communication when you're talking with a customer about the coffee and you can actually show them. That is so. Previously
we've spoken about being able to see through the the see-through side of the specialty coffee bag that like, oh, this is a washed coffee, this is a natural process. But to be able to also see the different in size, whether it's the Ethiopian or a Pacamara, or in this case, a Colombian pea berry, it works.
Yes.
Is really, really exciting. And another, isn't that nice? Yes. Another really interesting factoid about the pea berry is that it's an unusually small screen size. Yeah. It's screen size 13 and 14, which really like adds intensity to this. And I remember when we cupped the samples, we had a long table of lots and lots of samples, and when we came to this pea berry, it was so intense. It really was like, hello, I'm standing out among all these amazing coffees.
It's gonna be fun to roast it and see how everything lines up when we roast it in full production. Yeah. But
and we should add that it's now, since yesterday, on the wholesale list. It's not yet on the web shop, but it will be.
I think early next week.
We
are waiting for the card to arrive. For the bag.
Yeah.
And before that, we tried not to release it because it's still super fresh.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the subscription coffee.
I haven't tasted it.
No. Because when we talk about geishas, I always have this like throwing back time moment, like as we had with our Kenyan coffee. This is like how Kenyan coffee maybe kind of used to taste.
Yeah.
This is pure geisha flavor.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna summarize everything into one thing, this is pure gold.
Right.
It's so good.
No, and it's really interesting because I've seen people describe it. It's like geisha characteristics or geisha notes has become an established taste descriptor. There's this and there's that, and there's geisha character is another, and this is so filled with like
jasmine,
geisha,
bergamot. We got the lemons, like the bouquet of flowers. I don't know.
It's so floral.
So floral.
It's really, really nice.
So it's gonna be a blast roasting this on Monday.
Yes.
Shipping out to. We have. I think we claimed country 61.
Oh, really?
Yes. Now, which is quite cool. I have this mental list. Road to 100 countries.
And I love how on a weekly basis we're like adding a country.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing, which so this past week I was down in Malmö for a day and a half and visited and met some coffee friends, and we started talking about our approach to sourcing coffees, yours and my approach, and they were asking about naturals and experimental processing, and how many of all the coffees we were buying, how much anaerobic naturals and how were we choosing. And I told them that actually recently we have been buying a lot of washed coffees, and that's what we're drinking. We're drinking 2 washed coffees, which is sort of fun. I didn't think of it, but looking down, I'm like, oh yeah, this is a washed coffee. Oh yeah, that's also a washed coffee. And it's not a new sort of approach or a new philosophy. It really comes back to my answer always, which is like, we love great coffees.
Yeah.
No matter how they're produced, whether they are naturals, washed, anaerobic or not, if it's a great coffee, we're going to really enjoy it. Yeah.
And with these kind of coffees that has so much flavors and potential, it could be quite nice sometime to get it in as a more clean, transparent cup.
Oh yeah.
Especially when it comes out like this. And Honduras is also new for us.
Yeah.
Is it the first coffee?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. And no, as we spoke about earlier in the week, you and I, very exciting and obviously very well known producer. So super happy to start this relationship also.
Yeah.
But so these are two of our newer coffees. One of them isn't even up yet on the web shop, but it will be. But let's talk about some of the other coffees that arrived this past week.
Just quickly to mention, since this is something technical that we are doing, the live chat is working. So we haven't really spread the word about this podcast being live sent on YouTube, but it is. So if anyone's here, please throw in some questions in the chat. Subscribe to the channel, because then you will get like a push notification when we go live. We try to now slowly, we just mentioned it on a story on Instagram. But it's cool because I think most things work now, which is good. Knock on wood.
Knock on wood.
And we had some nice looking out to our range of specialty, and in the background we have all the competition stuff. The new Ethiopian arrived. Super nice. Now the design, the card is there. We also have it for our wholesale clients as a seasonal espresso.
And we just actually got an order from a coffee shop in Paris. Yes. They will be serving it as their espresso very exciting.
And I think we wrote in the newsletter, like, a lot of coffees, of course, has a special spot in our heart or whatever lineup of coffees, but Ethiopian coffees should be there. And since we work mostly after season, we maybe don't have it all year round. And now to bring it back, it's great, and it's an amazing coffee, really really good. And as espresso, we don't kind of sell espresso like that online. We mostly talk about filter coffee, but both you and I have a long espresso background. And this is an exceptional coffee as espresso. It's really, really nice. What else? We have filled up with more Kenya, secured it for, I would say, a couple of more months.
Because and I want to touch upon that, like, for the last half year or something like that, we start selling a coffee and then we sell out. And I don't know how many times I've had to write to people like, something, I'm really sorry, but we sold out faster than I thought. So here again, we were selling out of the Kenyan coffee faster than we thought. So we were lucky to be able to get more of the same, because it's so great.
And we are growing as a company, and we are learning, and it's super nice to have it now for a while. And I think we need to revisit some of the coffees more, talk about them again, because we released them and then we're like, oh, next coffee. But this Kenyan coffee I love it. And we have some clients that do a lot of cold brewing with it, and get really, really nice results. And if gonna throw back to my time as a more regular competitor in the barista scene, I experimented a lot with cold brewing and having that on stage, especially with Kenyan coffees, because it's a bit risky on a competition scene, because sometimes it can easily spill over and be over extracted and too much. But if you nail a Kenyan coffee as a cold brew, it's like pure cranberry juice or blackberries or lingonberries. It's so delicious. There's another coffee that we can't talk about yet. That's for another episode, but we're really happy to have secured that. And so Peaberry, Kenya, Ethiopia. Expect that if you want.
And the Peaberry is from Colombia. From Huila. So it's actually sort of a classic, Ethiopia, Kenya, Colombia.
Perfect. Because if you, as a viewer, didn't know, we have also another subscription, a specialty coffee subscription, where you get 3 of these coffees for a good deal, sent every second, fourth, or sixth week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's another part of this company that we haven't talked that much about, because our competition subscription takes a lot of what do you say, space.
Yeah, a lot of the focus
Yes.
is on both on the competition coffee and on the competition coffee subscription, which is not wrong. You know, I think that's our departure point. So
yeah, and for specialty, it's mostly wholesale clients actually that order it, but we see a growth in the specialty subscription, which is really nice. So you get 750 grams or 3 bags every month or 2 weeks or whatever, sent for free worldwide, which is good. And we don't write exactly what you get, but you can kind of calculate that, because you can see what we have in stock. And from now on, it's going to be the Peaberry, the Ethiopian, and the Kenya, which is it's
really
going to be
nice.
bonkers.
And you know, I want to add that you have for a while been talking about just like the need, both you and your family, but that people have in general, for having good fresh coffee at home. And that's a more established sort of business model where people have really good coffee or good enough coffee. But I you know, obviously I'm biased, but our specialty coffee is more than good. It's really a fantastic specialty coffee. And to have 3 bags of really spectacular specialty coffee at home is a great
and that's
thing.
kind of where our specialty range grew up from. Like, let's call it the high-end specialty range, because some of these copies were like, should this go into the box or not? And that's kind of like, maybe we need to get a bag to have something other than the box. And some of these coffees are just exceptional. And looking forward to all 3 of them, to the Kenyan, the Ethiopian, and the Peaberry. And then, as I said, we have the 4th one secured. It's here, but we need to wait.
And that's a great example of a coffee that so easily could have gone into the competition range, but we will want to share it with as many people as possible, so it's going into the specialty coffee bag instead.
And if we look over to the competition scene, we have, of course, the Honduras, the Herrera Geisha, that's now online. And if you want for a super good deal, sign up for the subscription.
Well, let me ask you, so if people would buy a box, 100 grams, on the web shop of the Herrera washed geisha, how much is it? Do you remember?
Around 30.
Around 30,
yeah.
Right. While you can get the subscription, including shipping, usually for 25.
But first month, 11.50.
12.50. 12, yeah.
It's too good.
Too good to be true.
But it's nice.
Yeah.
We have the iridescence. That's kind of like, sometimes like it's too much.
But
coming in.
Well, and I was going to say, you mentioned that we release a coffee, and then we were like, oh, and the next thing is, and so the iridescence carbonic macerated geisha, washed geisha from Jameson Savage in Panama is a coffee that we need to talk about more, because it's crazy. Yeah. It's really so fantastic.
It's our 3rd or 4th year.
Yeah.
Or at least you're buying it. Yeah. And it's such a good coffee.
Yeah.
And it's clean. It has like it checks all the boxes when we try to get coffee in here. We have another one from Jameson Savage that's not released yet.
Right.
I'll keep that maybe for a week more. And we had some other great stuff in. It's, I think, our lineup of competition coffees now.
Oh my God! Yes, I just saw what's over there. Yes, it's crazy.
It looks really, really interesting, and I'm so looking forward to this fall and the coffees that we're gonna release. And as I mentioned, I think we're getting a little bit better of like, when we get the coffee in, we can just let it rest for a week or two, try it out a few more times, get all the graphic parts, the cards, everything in as it is. Oh, another thing that we don't talk that much about is our capsules.
Oh, right.
Because we have especially the Elobrache Natural as a capsule, and it's interesting because we obviously produce it and we have it now in stock, and for me, I try it like 1 or 2 times a week just to try see how it develops, and it just balances out. Like the flavors are more transparent and clean now, and it's an interesting product, especially with these biodegradable capsules. And we see a growth from more and more clients around the world that drink capsules, and then they get their hands on ours, and or maybe some others out there that do great capsules, and they realize like, wow.
But we have 2 capsules. We have the Elobrache Natural Processed Geisha, and then we also have a little bit more approachable in price range, washed Ilovador variety from Geisha Village in Ethiopia. Also really nice coffee and a really nice capsule.
And that one actually, because I get a lot of questions like, so where can you drink your coffee in Stockholm? And we're like, we don't have that much clients in Stockholm. We have them like in Malaysia or in
Paris or New
Canada.
York or Canada.
But we have now 2 restaurants that actually use our capsules in Stockholm, and I think there and on the home market, of course, the capsules really shine sometimes, because if you have a restaurant that could figure out or have troubles with like, should we brew 10 liters of coffee this evening or 1 liter, or it's too much a little, the restaurant in our house now, Santa Salsa, they have this like, you get a espresso, a coffee, and I think it's some rum or something for a nice deal, and they make the coffees a la minute, like from the morning capsule machine that we work with. And for them, there's like 0 waste, and the customer is happy, everyone's happy. And if the restaurant, I think the restaurant need to fit the criteria of capsule brewing, because it's tough if you have like, I need 100 cups of coffee, then you can't stand doing like capsules. But for a lot of restaurants, I think they struggled with like, what setup of machines should we have to make coffee, and we're wasting too much, the beans are getting old in the grinder, or the knowledge about how to brew coffee. Because the good thing with a capsule machine with a good quality capsule in is that it does all the work for you. And especially on these machines that we work with now, the morning machines, you can do literally anything. Recipe, like it brews on scales, it has temperature control, brew pressure, pre-infusion, blooming, you name it. It's
I was going to ask, and we should do a separate episode about capsules, but also our collaboration with Drink Morning, the machine that we are promoting. What recipe are you using when you are brewing the Elobrache Natural Geisha?
So there's a recipe that I tweaked a little bit, but it comes with the machine. It's called Bloom and Brew. So it has it fills the capsule with water. It's what they call the pre-infusion for I think 3 seconds, and then it let it rest for a bloom phase that is 20 seconds, which is similar to how we brew coffee on a V60, and then it brews over, I think it's 2 or 3 different pressures, with a total of 25 grams coming out in the cup. So it looks like an espresso. The crema is holding up nicely. It's on the light side, of course. And especially like if you have it in 2 sips, the last sip, when you kind of got the crema out of the way, it's delicious. And you need to remind yourself like, oh my god, this is actually a capsule. It's not something else. And And it's so convenient. Oh my God. We talked about convenience is sticky, and like coming in the morning and just like, it's scary.
Yeah.
But it's good. So that is something that we're gonna keep on exploring and release more coffees, of course.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be nice to develop the what do you say, the collaboration with the guys at Morning.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a meeting with them this afternoon,
Yeah.
actually. So looking forward to that. I think we're gonna wrap it up quite soon, but something that I wanted to revisit is how we brew coffee, because we had for a while some focus on it. A few months ago with the double broom recipe,
right?
And we have 2 videos on YouTube. That's now
on this channel.
Yes, it's fully up there for free. Go ahead. I think one of them has it's closing in like 10,000 views or something. So it's okay. And the one with me is more on the, I would say, not basic, but it's like a shorter introduction to the brew recipe, quick, easy to learn.
That's the double brew. Right.
And
Your go-to.
My go-to recipe,
V60
and still is. And the funny thing is that when I brew it, if you look at your video, that's more on the advanced side, like washed versus natural brewing, what you can change in your brew recipe to get the most out of the coffee. There's this part where you tap or not tap, and it's so funny because when we were in Colombia, 2011 for the Worlds, I think Matt Perger was doing both barista and brewers or something like that. And then there was like this discussion about the tap.
Right.
So every time I brew my coffee, I kind of got thrown back to
10
Bogota.
years ago. You're like, do I tap or not? That's funny.
And so go check them out. They are up and available for everyone. So how do you brew your coffee?
Well,
how did you brew these coffees?
Exactly. I was going to say, so again, these are 2 obviously very different coffees, but also very similar. Similar in that they are washed. Similar roast profile for both of these, but one is a very small pea berry and the other one is a more classic, larger geisha. But as I already mentioned, I didn't change the grind settings, even though, like, in theory, we should have a finer grind for a larger bean, the geisha, a coarser grind for the smaller bean. So I did a 250 grams of water, 15 grams of coffee. I did a version of the 2. So I did the first 50 grams bloom for 30 seconds, and then up to 100 grams. Didn't do anything there, and then all the way up after 1 minute, and then I did the swirl, no tap. So very classic, but that's also sort of my approach when I'm evaluating coffees. I want us to taste the difference in the coffee, and not that I've tweaked the brewing for different coffees, because we want to have a more general comparison. But then, so the result with the TDS was for the pea berry, we had 1.45 TDS, which is a nice and high extraction. And for the Honduras geisha, we had 1.42, which is also a little bit lower, but still a good and high extraction. So is the difference in extraction rate because I didn't change the dial on the grinder? Very likely. But I mean, obviously, both of these were very, very tasty.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And so if anyone has any questions about how we brew coffee, just send them in on Instagram, DM. We get a lot of DMs on how.
Oh my God.
then we usually end up sending them videos, which is a good way. But if anyone has any other tips or tricks or how to brew our or others' coffee, just send them in, because who knows, we can mention them or just try them out, of course. So once again, live Fridays with Standout Coffee.
Set your alarm.
Yeah. My name is Oscar and you're Alexander. We're running Standout Coffee for almost 2 years now, working with exceptional coffees in what we call competition and specialty range. And we're quite new on YouTube, so please subscribe to the channel, leave a like and share if you want. We're gonna share this video on Instagram as well now, because that's our like main platform for communication and everything.
No TikTok?
No TikTok. I tried it out, but it was just like, no, not right. We're too old. And what more? Yeah, we should mention the deal that we have on the subscription, the competition subscription now.
First month, 50% off.
Yeah. And then we hope you stay. It's a great way to get in and get your hands on these exceptional competition coffees that we try to find and find. And yeah, I think that about it.
Somebody just signed up.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. And we're gonna wrap this up, turn the roaster on. We have some production for today.
Yep.
But on Monday it's happening.
Yeah.
We're gonna start roasting all the Honduras Geisha for all the subscribers around the world. Ship them out as fast as possible. Maybe I would say Monday, Tuesday, some on Wednesday as well.
61 countries.
That is cool. So, thank you so much for today. See you around.
Perfect.